Hey everybody. So today's video is going to be about reading the passages with purpose. I say with purpose because remember that we have this prompt that we're supposed to be answering. We're supposed to be writing an argumentative essay for our school's blog in which we support or oppose the use of an artist's music in advertising. So when we go to read our passages, we're really needing to focus on the prompt, which is, do we support or oppose musicians using music in advertising? So you're going to see there's a couple different tools at the top that you can use when you're reading. One is the notepad. The notepad opens up and you can type notes in there and then save them for later if you click save and close. You can also move it around. There's also, you can't copy and paste quotes, but you can highlight a quote. And so, you can then make a note about that highlighted quote, whatever you want to do. Just right click, highlight. There's also a thing called a line reader, and the line reader is just highlights one line at a time, so while you're reading you can follow along. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to read this passage to you guys, and then we're going to see if we have any quotes to highlight. So it says, the music industry is in the midst of a large upheaval. In decades past, artists made money through physical sales of records, CDs, and cassettes. However, those forms of media are quickly fading away. And while downloading songs from services such as Amazon or iTunes has become the most common way for people to purchase music in recent years, the whole idea of buying music to own may be falling by the wayside. To take its place are internet services that stream music directly to listeners on their smartphones, tablets, or computers. These apps are typically available either as ad-supported free versions or ad-free monthly subscription services. And while this is great for fans, who now have access to millions of songs at the flick of a touchscreen, it has shattered the traditional model of how an artist manages his or her career. With music lovers increasingly moving away from making one-time purchases towards an all-you-can-listen-to service, what is a hard-working artist to do? The main problem facing many musicians is that payments per stream of a song are much lower than what an artist would receive from a download. According to data journalist David McCandless, a signed solo artist would need about 5,478 iTunes downloads of a song per month versus 4,200,000 YouTube streams per month just to make the US minimum wage. Some big-name artists have called attention to the issue. In November of 2014, award-winning musician Taylor Swift pulled her entire music catalog from Spotify, a popular streaming app, claiming that their business model suggests that music does not hold much worth. Others have embraced the idea of streaming music, claiming that it offers smaller artists a chance for their music to get heard by a wider audience. Zoe Keating, a cellist who describes herself as an established but non-mainstream, suggests that these services should be viewed as a way for musicians to get their music out there and not as an income source. Brian Message, manager of the band Radiohead, has come out in support of streaming services. He sees them as a way for musicians and fans to interact. Regardless of what artists may think about the shift in the music industry, there is no arguing they need to adapt in order to make money. While touring and selling merchandise have always been a tried and true revenue streams, one major shift in recent years has been the growth in partnership between artists and businesses. Corporate sponsorship can be a risky option for musicians. A band can make hundreds of thousands of dollars by agreeing to promote a product or license its music for use in advertisements, but there are many ways that this can backfire. Alex Scally, instrumentalist for the indie pop duo Beach House, notes that when bands take on corporate sponsors, they may lose the image they have worked to create. However, Scally does assert that the rules could be different for smaller bands just starting out. It's clear that for artists, big or small, trying to maintain credibility while struggling to sustain a career is certainly tricky. Artists must develop an image that appeals to their fans in order to remain unique and authentic, or they risk striking the wrong chord, which could leave them struggling to sustain careers in this new business landscape. So that's an example of one of the passages that you might read on FSA Rights. And notice that we're reading the passage with purpose. So there's one quote that stuck out to me that really aligns with what the prompt was asking us to do, because it started talking about the artists using their music to make money. So I found that in paragraph 4. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight it. And so you highlight, you right click, and then you can press the highlight button. Hopefully your screen doesn't go all wonky like mine did. But then you have this highlighted quote. So this is something now that I can go back and reference. This is the part of the essay or the part of the passage where they're directly talking about the prompt that I'm supposed to be addressing. So I'm now able to start to form my opinion a little bit more. It seems like this passage does a really good job of telling you the pros and cons for artists. And so the next couple of passages might help me make a better choice. Just reading with purpose. That means read with your prompt in mind.